Hello everyone, in this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. First, the abduction of Aleema Khan's sons one after the other, and second, the way DGISPR has almost completely denied the interview that Field Marshal General Asim Munir had given. Both developments are extremely bizarre, and both reflect the mental instability and the chaos that is gripping this regime in Pakistan. Before I analyze the abduction of Aleema Khan's sons, first Shahbaz Khan, then Shah Khan, let us look at what has been happening with Sohail Warraich. Sohail Warraich is a prominent journalist. Many of you have said very harsh things about him. Some podcasters even carried out severe character assassination of him. But in both vlogs that I did regarding Sohail Warraich, I dealt with him respectfully. I believe that in the last 25 to 30 years of Urdu journalism, Sohail Warraich has made a name for himself. Whatever hypocrisy exists in Pakistani journalism, he has still established a position. It is simply not possible that Sohail Warraich interviewed General Asim Munir without proper permission. The accusation against him is that he is cunning and highly intelligent, so how could such a clever man be so foolish as to publish an interview with such a dangerous personality without official authorization? Especially since we know that Mohsin Naqvi has a close relationship with him. Sohail himself wrote that for months he'd been requesting Mohsin Naqvi to arrange a meeting with General Asim Munir for an interview. He even posed for a photo with him after that. So it is impossible that Sohail Warraich did not get official permission to publish this interview. Months earlier, another prominent anchor, Mansoor Ali Khan, who strongly supports the regime, had also met General Asim Munir at a time when the general was not so confident and rarely met people. After that meeting, Mansoor Ali Khan said in his vlog that the general told him, "You are meeting not a person, but an institution." I had discussed this in my vlogs as well. If Mansoor Ali Khan had not been given permission, some action would have been taken against him. But nothing of the sort happened. That means, just as Mansoor Ali Khan had permission, Sohail Warraich also had permission. Warraich himself wrote that he had a nearly 2-hour-long meeting with the general, so the interview was indeed conducted and later published. But now, for reasons not clear, the authorities have gone into denial. Why? Because in that interview, when asked about reconciliation regarding May 9th, Sohail said political reconciliation might be possible, and the general responded, yes, if an apology is sought sincerely. But then he gave the example of Iblis or Satan. I believe this Iblis reference is what scared the general and his team afterwards. In DGISPR's clarification, they excluded the Iblis part and claimed the general never talked about any apology. They presented May 9th as a national tragedy, saying no forgiveness was possible. But the truth is, the general did use the Iblis reference, and that struck people deeply. Because in Pakistan, it is an extremely sensitive issue. No one can remain unaffected by it. That is why now they are revising the narrative. Unfortunately, as people say, they used Sohail Warraich like a tissue paper for political purposes and then discarded him. Even though Warraich was their supporter, he must now have realized their true character and ethics and how they used him. I agree with Ansar Abbasi, who tweeted that it is impossible that Sohail Warraich acted on his own or exaggerated the matter. This only reflects the state of mind and inner discussions of the general and his team. They are afraid. My son knew he could be arrested when he returned. He said, "I won't stay outside," and he came back. Now let's turn to Aleema Khan, sister of Imran Khan, who is currently being targeted, apparently because of the anger of Field Marshal General Asim Munir's team. Why is she being targeted? Because Aleema Khan has consistently, responsibly and obediently conveyed Imran Khan's messages to the public, even though she herself hasn't met him directly for weeks. Instead, his sisters Dr. Uzma Khan and Noreen Khan meet him. But Aleema articulates his words publicly, and she has a skill for handling the media that not everyone has. She can laugh off nonsense questions and still deliver the key message. Just 48 hours ago, she even said, "We want them to arrest us, so there are headlines, but they don't arrest us." Now, they have targeted her sons, who apparently have no political role, abducting them only to torture Imran Khan and put Aleema under psychological pressure. When her first son, Shahbaz Khan, was abducted, no one claimed responsibility. Aleema's tweets and PTI leaders' reactions showed that plainclothesmen had taken him. For hours, Lahore police kept saying, "File a report, we know nothing." This clearly means police didn't do it, it was someone else. Later, they changed their stance and claimed responsibility. Then they added fabricated charges like drug or meth cases. The very next day, her second son was abducted too, allegedly linked to May 9th incidents. Salman Akram Raja appeared in court for Shahbaz's case. The anti-terrorism court granted 8 days physical remand. Salman Akram Raja said, "In this country, no law exists. There is no sanctity of privacy. Lawlessness prevails, and there is no respect for human dignity." This elite regime under Asim Munir and Zardari does not realize that when you destroy institutions and systems, you may achieve short-term goals, but you destroy the foundation of society. They have done this with courts, with the Supreme Court, with the media, with Parliament, with the political process, and with policing. So much so that even ISI, once a respected, world-renowned intelligence agency with its own traditions and protocols, is now being used as a crude tool of terror in ways never seen before in Pakistan's mainstream areas. They have utterly destroyed its credibility. It has been tainted. The consequences for the state of Pakistan will be terrifying, and when things begin to build up, let me give you another example. When systems are heading toward destruction, the people who start that process usually have no real understanding that they are destroying the system. They only want to achieve their small, short-term objectives. Then the system collapses all at once later. By that time it's too late. Many times the actual perpetrators or culprits have already disappeared. They may have died, escaped, or vanished. After that, the people left behind have to pay the price. A very good example from students of history is that of the French Revolution. Later research, 100 years after the revolution, tells us that the king, Louis XVI, I think, who was guillotined, who was beheaded, he was actually innocent. He had no real role in it. He was, in fact, trying to improve the situation. But for 15 to 20 years prior, the treasury had been drained. Economic mismanagement and political depression had taken their toll. And when the eruption finally happened, it consumed that regime, even though at that moment he was trying to make things better. I can say something similar about Yahya Khan. Of course, Yahya Khan was not innocent regarding 1971, but the real person responsible, the one who created the mess, was General Ayub Khan. His personal greed, selfishness, his unlimited desire for power, his ego, all of that caused the gulf between East and West Pakistan to widen after 1953. Over the next 15 to 20 years, both wings of Pakistan travelled a road of growing hatred. That is how the system was destroyed. Now let me tell you about a development here in America this morning. It's around 10 to 10:30 a.m. here. At 7 a.m., on the instructions of Kash Patel, the FBI director, an FBI team entered the home of John Bolton, the former National Security Advisor and Ambassador to the United Nations, a man well known as one of Donald Trump's fiercest critics and someone I have personally interviewed. They claim to have a court warrant to search for classified documents in his home in Bethesda, Maryland, a very prestigious, respected neighborhood where many influential people live, including media figures, members of the judiciary, the State Department, lobbyists, lawyers, and big law firms. Now, this should not have happened. In a system like America's, to storm the home of a former national security advisor, someone who once had Secret Service protection, though Trump angrily withdrew it some time ago, on such flimsy grounds is very troubling. Everyone knows John Bolton has always been a fierce critic of Trump ever since he was removed from his position as National Security Advisor. Bolton has always argued that Donald Trump is inefficient and incompetent. Recently, in the context of Trump's meeting with Putin, Bolton repeatedly said on global television channels that Putin is very smart, very intelligent, and that he would surely get the better of the conversation. Originally, the plan was for a one-on-one meeting between Trump and Putin. But later, the American side expanded the delegation because they feared Trump would not be able to handle it. Putin came with just 2 people, while Trump had around 6 with him. The American side itself felt their president was weak and wouldn't be able to stand up to Putin. Bolton kept saying that Trump was no match for Putin, and indeed the outcome showed that Putin clearly won. Trump came away with nothing except vague promises of more meetings. The whole world understands that Putin, with decades of experience in politics and a KGB background, completely outmaneuvered Trump. Bolton was right. Trump, however, has a problem with his ego. A couple of days ago, in my interview with Professor Christine Fair, she said it was a battle of egos between Trump and Modi. I corrected her, saying Modi's actions are driven by national and political interests, not ego. The real ego problem lies with Trump. Trump was deeply hurt by the perception that Putin bested him, and now to vent his frustration, this is the kind of reaction we are seeing, using the FBI against a political critic. The excuse they have made is so flimsy, so weak, that every American should feel ashamed. They claimed that in John Bolton's 2019-20 book, The Room Where It Happened, he published classified information. Back in 2020, when Trump was still in power, the Justice Department even filed a treason case against him. They tried to stop the book's publication, but the courts refused, and the book was published. When Biden's administration came, the Justice Department withdrew that case. Now, years later, they are suddenly saying that Bolton may have taken classified documents home. Even if, hypothetically, he had done so back in 2017-18 when he wrote the book, by 2025, those documents could not possibly still be lying around in his house. Clearly, what has happened here is that the FBI was used to send a message, to harass and intimidate political opponents and critics. This is a new trend that the current president has initiated, and it does not look good for America's history. This is exactly the point I keep emphasizing. This is how systems begin to deteriorate. When they start breaking down, those responsible don't realize what the long-term consequences will be. America, of course, is not yet in as dire a situation as Pakistan was, and hopefully its system has enough depth and intelligence to resist collapse. But the current administration's steps are disturbing America's balance of power and political conventions. This is the trend, and if it continues, it will not bode well for America. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.